Okay, Donnie, we're about 1 day into your repair, and that's getting the chine cap material off, which is more difficult than putting it back on. So that's the good news. We can see right here, what I'm pointing to is where some epoxy was used to try to fill this crack. Basically, the chine cap that was here, the piece of wood that was here, was epoxied in place, and it separated, allowing a crack for water to enter the boat. And so the repairs people tried to make the repairs from the outside by filling that gap with epoxy, and of course then it just released as well, and just continued to release. As we come up the boat a little farther, we found an area that has some rot. And you can see where I've pushed what you have here, looking at your layers. We have a 1/2 inch mahogany plank. We have 2 layers of 1/4 inch plywood, and that's a hole that I'd found earlier. Let me just go ahead and poke a brand new hole for you. And you can see that spot wasn't quite as bad. Let's see if we got another one right here. Yeah, there we go. So we've got some rot over here that I'm going to work on a plan for treating that. We really don't want to cover that back up. However, it is your boat, and if that's what you want to do, it'll be yours and my little secret, I guess. We really need to try to remove this rot right here. Oh, and look, right here it is. And it's in what's called the chine. So, and we found, corresponding to that area, we also found rot in the chine cap that we removed. And I suspected that maybe the chine cap was not the proper material, which would be white oak, but we cut the end of the chine, or the chine cap, and it is white oak material. It must have been diseased or something. We have a lot of rot in the area that corresponded to this area in the hull. So basically, I don't know if the rot started in the chine and migrated out to the chine cap, or started in the chine cap and migrated into the chine. It really doesn't matter. But we have issues right here that we really ought to address, and it's not a matter of treatment. It's not a matter of chemotherapy. It's a matter of surgery, and then chemotherapy in case we, the epoxies, penetrating epoxies, in case we missed any of the rot in surgery. So, and you can look at this chine cap. It's just really punky all through here, all through this area. It's just flakes away very easily with your fingernail. So, good news is we're getting the chine cap off. We were planning on destroying it. We're planning on putting the new chine cap on. The bad news is that we're going to have to address this rot here, and I'm going to have to put some kind of fence around how much it's going to cost to do that for you if you choose to do it. We also discovered some early signs of rot. This right here isn't sealant. This is actually mold right here, and if we get right down on it, you can see how the mold is starting to advance. So basically, it's a good thing we took this chine cap off. And here's more mold right here, more fungus. This is approaching becoming a mushroom right here, I believe. But the other side, this side basically almost fell off. The other side is really fighting back, so that's some good news for you. But we found that because of this gap in here, we found that there was basically a slot or a channel behind the chine cap, and here's the remaining chine cap that we're not going to mess with. There's basically a channel behind there. You can see right here the glue line or the epoxy line, and everything else is bare. So that was where once your water got into the boat, it could travel anywhere up and down the length of the boat and find a way to get in. So that's where we're at. I'll put a fence around. We'll do a little more investigation on the rot and put a fence around what that's going to cost if you choose to do it. Otherwise, we'll stay with the same cost we had. But I suggest that we do something to treat that rot over there. All right, I'll be calling you soon.